together. And now, Cricket presents WrestleMania Kickoff.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the WrestleMania Kickoff Show presented by Cricket. It is night 2, everybody, of WrestleMania Goes Hollywood, and we are so pumped coming off what happened in night 1. We have new champions. We have new biggest moments in WrestleMania history. We know there's going to be more of that happening here today. You can hear this is the second night in a row that over 75,000 members of the WWE Universe have sold out SoFi Stadium here in Los Angeles, and we are again so excited to be here. Lots to talk about, but of course we got to talk about our all-star panel over here to my far right. We've got Wade Barrett. How we doing? And of course, two-time WWE Hall of Famer Bugsy.
Hell yeah! You know, coming off of night 1, I had to dress up for night 2.
Great.
I had to put the nice suit on. I had to show everybody on the panel up tonight. Yes. Yeah. Boom.
No. We missed you yesterday, K-People. You're
Great
back
to be
here.
back.
We've got Kevin Patrick back here.
You know what? Is
panel.
tonight the night that Roman Reigns, his record run in WWE, comes to an end? It could be tonight here at WrestleMania.
All right, and we do have Peter Rosenberg joining us here in just a little bit, but he is actually working on a little special surprise right now, so we will get to that in just a little bit. But let's talk about what else we're getting to here tonight, night 2 of WrestleMania. We are excited for this, following his triumph over 29 other superstars in the 2023 Royal Rumble match. Cody Rhodes will get the opportunity to realize his dream and do what no other superstar has been able to do, which is to defeat the head of the table and the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns. That's happening tonight, everybody, when WrestleMania Goes Hollywood.
Oh man, absolutely pumped for that one. Think about what Edge is going through right now. A year ago at WrestleMania, starting the Judgment Day. It's gotten very personal though, and the Rated R superstar, the Hall of Famer Edge, wants to end Finn Balor with the demon inside Hell in a Cell, and that is tonight.
Wow, and the hits keep coming because I think we all had our minds blown by the SmackDown Women's Championship match last night. Well, tonight it is the turn of the Raw Women. Title on the line as the champ Bianca Belair defends against the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka.
Whoop, whoop. Well, listen, guys, last night was the first WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way match. By the way, congrats to the Street Profits. But tonight, it's all about the women. Again, the second Showcase match of the weekend. These 4 elite female tag teams will be able to show what they do best in this tag match in Hollywood.
Tell you what, folks, we better hope this ring is secured. 700 pounds between Brock Lesnar and Omos, the Beast Incarnate, meeting the Nigerian Giant. The most massive match you'll see on the card tonight.
And this next matchup is really gonna hurt. I'm expecting the hardest hitting WrestleMania match in history. Intercontinental Championship up for grabs as the ring general Gunther defends against Drew McIntyre and Sheamus.
I am the Intercontinental Champion.
For this man, this composition has long been played.
No man in the 21st century has held the Intercontinental Championship longer than Gunther.
Marching to a beat unlike any other, he conducted a symphony of pain. The smashes never stop coming.
The Ring and I will break you.
There's this man whose greatest hits have produced banger
4-time world champion.
after banger
5-time tag team champion.
3-time United States champion.
after banger,
King of the ring. Mr. Money in the Bank. Royal Rumble winner.
yet still seeks the elusive goal.
Never Intercontinental champ.
And the man whose early success set a tone
McIntyre wins his first singles championship.
and has become a classic.
From the chosen one to number one.
But lately, his efforts to fine-tune his melody
Gunther, I'm calling you out.
Have struck a chord.
You stop gonna go behind me back like that? You of all people know how much that Intercontinental Championship means to me, fella. Thought you were my brother. You're just a backstabbing bastard.
Sheamus McIntyre, winner of this matchup, to face Gunther for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. Oh, collision! And both men down.
Who's it gonna be? At WrestleMania, huh?
Ethereum now is assaulting Sheamus and McIntyre. We're not gonna have a winner of this matchup.
Gunther, you will defend that Intercontinental Championship against Sheamus and Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania.
It will be a soundtrack of bad blood, an arrangement of physicality, and a symphony of destruction.
All right, everyone, we're back here at WrestleMania Night 2. This is your kickoff show. And we do want to talk about that match right there. Wade, you said it earlier. You said this is quite possibly going to be the hardest hitting match of the weekend. Would you like to care to elaborate on that statement?
Well, I'll tell you point blank, I have been in the ring with Sheamus and Drew many times. Hardest fights I ever had in my career. Never been in the ring with the ring general Gunther. He might actually hit harder than either Drew or Sheamus. This one's going to get really ugly in a hurry. And you know what? As a former five-time Intercontinental Champion booker, I've got a real interest in who's going to carry the gold out of this one. You know what I'm saying?
Gimmick infringement. That's just what you do.
As another former Intercontinental Champion, Booker, you know, what are your thoughts on this?
No, I mean, look at Drew McIntyre, and he's truly that guy, two-time WWE champion. I look at Sheamus, he's a world champion as well, but I look at Gunther, and this dude, man, he's an anomaly. He's like the perfect storm, and I say that because you're gonna have a perfect game plan, a perfect strategy to go out there and beat this man, because he is what I call extraordinary. You know, that's something that Bruce Lee was all about. This dude is really on another level, and tonight he has a chance to go out there and prove it.
And Kevin, you know, I know you are fond of all of these gentlemen. You have your own reasons for each one, you know, why you're fans of them. But when we talk about triple threat matches, anytime we bring this up, the champion doesn't need to be the one who's being pinned here.
You can totally understand why Gunther is so pissed off right now, and he's pissed off at Adam Pearce. And you can understand why. Gunther thinks he's getting either Sheamus or Drew McIntyre. And what happens? He gets both of them. And Sheamus could pin Drew. Gunther loses his title. I mean, that would annoy you too, right?
You know, Go ahead.
It's Gunther's own fault, though. Gunther got involved in the matchup that was supposed to decide who was the number one contender between Drew and Sheamus, causing it to be a triple threat matchup. He only has himself to blame.
I think Gunther relishes being in this position.
Well,
to have two of the biggest players in Drew McIntyre and Sheamus in the ring at the same time, and to be able to go out there and beat these, to be able to walk. Do you know what? That's a notch on the belt, man. That's a gunslinger right there, dog.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I want to go back to, again, mentioning the rules of a triple threat match. Gunther does not have to be the one who's being pinned. And when we think about the other two in this match, who have a lot of built-up animosity over the years, this could literally be the exact position that Gunther does want to be in, because he can kind of stand back and let these two go at it.
Well, here's the thing. You've got to remember, Drew and Sheamus have been so obsessed with one another over the past few weeks. They're overlooking the real deal in this matchup, which is trying to topple the seemingly unstoppable ring general Gunther. I don't know if it can be done, and Drew and Sheamus might actually take each other out.
I kind of want to see that.
Who's the toughest out of the three of them? It's impossible to pick.
We're going to find out tonight, aren't we? Let's be honest.
With that being said, let's go ahead and get our picks. Gentlemen, Wade, who do you got in this?
Look, you've got the ring general. He's been unstoppable since arriving on SmackDown. That is not changing tonight. This is a generational performer. Gunther retains the gold.
Oh, okay.
I agree. Gunther is a next level talent. He's a guy that's looking to make history here in the WWE. So Gunther is my pick as well.
I'm going Sheamus. I'm wearing my emerald green here.
I'm
going Sheamus. Why not? Listen, Sheamus a legend. Admit it, guys. You all know he is. Sheamus. There's a Sheamus back there with the red hair. Love to see it. Listen, the guy has won every major championship there is in WWE, bar the Intercontinental Championship.
Only the greats win the Intercontinental Championship. Let's be honest.
It means so much to Sheamus tonight. And the fact that he was backstabbed by Drew the way he was, at least he feels that way, I'm going Sheamus tonight.
Well, listen, normally I don't give my picks, but I've got to give some credit to my boy, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, anybody? Okay, here we go.
Not a
All right.
wishful thinkers.
All right, guys, what a hot start to night 2 of the WrestleMania kickoff. We got so much more to talk about, and we're going to do that when we return.
If you rollin', I pray you don't get cold. Is he ready for war, my brother?
Rated T for Teen.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Right there, you're seeing a beautiful view of the SoFi Stadium, which is where Peter Rosenberg happened to be hanging out to give us an exclusive sneak peek of what's going on inside. What's up, Peter?
Guys, thank you so much. So excited to be here. I am backstage at SoFi Stadium, WrestleMania Sunday. This is where all the action happens. Oh, Blake. Hold on one second. Hold on. No. Hold tight, Blake. 1 second. Liv Morgan. Liv, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you feeling about your WrestleMania Showcase match tonight?
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so happy that we finessed our way onto the card and that the tag team division has gotten so much love over the past few days.
And you are an all-time great finesser. I have to make a pick later. Should I be picking you guys to win this match?
100,000%. I mean, I've had an incredible year. I'm feeling more confident than ever. Have you seen my tag team partner?
Yeah.
The biggest girl in the freaking match. My strong-backed Raquel. I'm so excited. I'm so happy to
Can you
have
give
her.
me a pinky swear, though? I need an absolute guarantee this is happening.
Oh, yeah. Do you see? I had a meet and greet last night, and all my fans gave me
Oh, okay. We're good. We're good.
So good.
Done deal. Thank you, Liv.
Thank you.
Have fun. All right, we're going to keep moving.
Do you want me to win? Or are you just messing with me right now?
Fine, I want you to win.
Okay.
I want you to win.
Okay.
All right, so long, Liv. Thanks, Blake. All right, Lewis. Hold on, where we go? We're going this way. Come on. All right, now, we're going to take you on a trip to what they call gorilla position. Why is it called gorilla position? I'll get to that in a moment. But the interesting thing about SoFi Stadium is it's so big that we actually have to go up in an elevator. And as you can see, here are people exiting the elevator. Hi, everyone. How you doing? Happy WrestleMania Sunday, everyone. Hello. Come on in. You never know who you're going to find. It could be a WWE superstar. It could be a group of strangers. Who knows? Could be a Hall of Famer. Now, yesterday was amazing. 80,000 people at SoFi Stadium, sold out. We're expecting the exact same thing tonight, of course, with the huge main event. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, all happening. Now, here is the trip that you take if you are a WWE superstar on your way to your big moment, okay? Not going to stop and get tacos right now, but it's an option. Keep following me. And you just keep walking. And as we get over here, you got to hustle because we're going to, oh, hello, sir. I really apologize for that.
Hey,
you
got to watch yourself backstage, all right?
I apologize. You are large and very...
I like to see you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. That could have gone much, much worse. All right, so we keep walking, and here it is. We get towards Gorilla. You got your last-second makeup situation. This is what all the WWE superstars are doing on their way to WrestleMania. So, we're going to head down these stairs right here. And on this path, this is the path you take to Gorilla. And you could run into anyone like the Street Profits, who happen to be hanging out right now. Montez?
Victories of night one. How you doing?
You already know.
How you doing? But we only here tonight for one reason.
What's that?
EST. 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 EST.
I have a question. Angelo, has Braun Strowman landed yet?
Nope, he's still flying. Just check.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Of course, they're here to support Bianca Belair. Now, you get to this mirror here. This is the last opportunity that superstars have to sort of touch up before maybe do a couple jumping jacks, get down, hit a couple quick push-ups. You know, get all the way down, get the blood flowing a little bit, turn around, and it's time to head into Gorilla. And now we are in Gorilla. Yes, this is the incredible position that every superstar dreams of being in one day. Of course, it's named after the iconic Gorilla Monsoon. This used to be his spot back in the day, people doing their work. And then here it is, the moment every WWE superstar dreams of, walking out onto that stage at WrestleMania. Here we go. And what a stage it is. Take a look. This is exactly the walk that WWE superstars will be going on today. You see the lights, you feel the people, absolutely incredible. Look how long, about 80 yards all the way down to that ring. This is absolutely amazing. And I have to tell you, as excited as I am to be here, I am also glad I am not one of the superstars who has to make this walk, because God knows what I would do. Booker T, that's a man who's done this walk before. Wade Barrett, he's done this walk before. Me, not so much. But my God, this is going to be incredible today. This will be the path that Cody Rhodes takes to try to win the undisputed World Heavyweight Championship coming up tonight. Guys, this has been a thrill. I'm glad I shared it with all of you. And now, see right over there? See across? I'm going to go across this stadium and come find my compadres on the kickoff show.
Hey, Peter, can you bring me some tacos on your way back?
I'll stop for tacos. Book, you want anything?
Yeah, bring me a Red Bull.
Okay, I got you for...
Rosenberg.
Yeah.
Hit the beer stand for me as well.
No, that was, oh man, that's really cool. You know, a lot of fans don't get to see that up-close look at what happens backstage, what the superstars are getting themselves ready for before one of the biggest nights of not just their careers, but of their lives. That was a really good look at how long that ramp is. It's huge. Again, you guys, like you said, you guys have done that ramp before. What is it like when you first walk out there?
You know, as many times I've had the opportunity to do that, the nervousness, the hand, the palm sweating, the butterflies, swirling all around. And I always say you got to get those butterflies to line up and fly straight. You know what I mean? You got to go out there and savor this moment because it may never, ever come again. I remember my first WrestleMania, The Undertaker said, make sure you stop and look around and feel that moment. Oh, yes, man.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, I've done that walk 5 or 6 times myself. Unfortunately, coming the other direction, I was usually carried back because things never went well for me at WrestleMania. The magnitude of that space, the roar of the crowd, it always got to me emotionally. I kind of collapsed internally, but the greats have to conquer that, and the people who are going to be victorious tonight need to control their inner emotions.
Incredible. Millions of people watching around the world. A sellout crowd again tonight, potentially over 80,000 of the WWE Universe. 6 incredible matches on this one WrestleMania Sunday.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WrestleMania.
A spectacle like no other. Unparalleled pageantry. One fateful night at the world's most famous arena in 1985 catapulted WrestleMania into the cultural conversation. And over the years, it's become a worldwide phenomenon.
The irresistible force meeting the immovable object. Shawn Michaels from high above. This is a WrestleMania moment.
The first WrestleMania was televised using just 7 production cameras. Since then, it's transformed into a technical marvel, utilizing over 75 cameras, dazzling pyrotechnics, and state-of-the-art augmented reality technology. Broadcast to over 180 countries, WWE's premier annual event reaches more than 1 billion homes worldwide. Last year, WrestleMania took the internet by storm, generating an astounding 13 million hours of viewed content and a gargantuan 2.2 billion social media impressions. WrestleMania attracts fans from all over the world.
93,173.
You have officially broken the WrestleMania attendance record.
101,763 fans on hand.
The spectacle continues to grow. This year, WrestleMania surpasses an astonishing 2 million members of the WWE Universe who have witnessed the Showcase of the Immortals in person. 101 WWE Hall of Famers have competed at WrestleMania in 388 total matches. 80 of those contests have been world title matches, which produced 46 new champions.
The Austin era has begun. Mysterio wins the title.
Since WrestleMania 30, nearly 65% of world title challengers have been successful.
Kofi did it! Kofi is champion!
Every superstar dreams of main eventing WrestleMania, but only a select few have reached such a vaunted status.
The biggest WrestleMania match in history.
In the first 9 years of the show's history, Hulk Hogan headlined a record 8 times in 6 World Championship bouts.
Look at this! He's landed!
No superstar in history has won more world titles on the biggest stage than John Cena. The 16-time champ has been victorious in 75% of his world title matches at WrestleMania, including a record 7 consecutive world championship matches.
The champ is here!
When it comes to making history, female competitors have left their mark on WrestleMania since the very beginning. Becky Lynch kicked down barriers in 2019 when she competed in the first ever all-female main event and left as Becky Two Belts. Bianca Belair followed suit with her historic championship win in the main event just 2 years later. And this year will mark a record 5th time Charlotte Flair has walked into WrestleMania as champion, proving that the show of shows is her queendom. Performer on the grandest stage than the Phenom. With a record of 27 matches, including an insurmountable 21-0 undefeated streak,
16-0, 21-0.
The Undertaker has cemented himself as the most prolific competitor in WrestleMania history.
You will rest in peace.
While the Dead Man has more WrestleMania appearances than anyone, the accolade of WrestleMania's Iron Man belongs to another Hall of Famer. The King of Kings wears the crown for the most time spent in ring. In 24 WrestleMania matches, Triple H competed for an astounding 8 hours, 12 minutes, and 46 seconds. Speaking of Iron Men, who could forget when Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart tested their limits in a 1 hour, 1 minute, and 56-second marathon for the WWE Championship.
The boyhood dream has come true for Shawn Michaels.
While there have been countless classic matches, we've seen some streaks end in the blink of an eye.
Brock Lesnar into the cover, hooks the leg, the streak is over.
WrestleMania has always been a star-studded affair, alluring some of the biggest names in pop culture.
How about getting your foot off my shoulder?
We've seen 10 Emmy winners, 27 Grammy winners, and 24 pro sports champions enthralled in the annual spectacle. From the platinum recording artist
Pitbull, Flo Rida, Snoop Dogg,
to the larger-than-life personalities who have competed, you never know what to expect next.
Buddies fly!
The Showcase of the Immortals has been hosted in 25 different cities. And this year, we roll out the red carpet at SoFi Stadium, marking a record 4th time Los Angeles has hosted this iconic event. The stage is set for a colossal encounter between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. The American Nightmare will compete in his first WWE World Title match and his first WrestleMania main event. The Tribal Chief, however, is no stranger to the spotlight. This year will mark Roman Reigns' 7th WrestleMania main event in the last 9 years. And on the 945th day of his incredible reign, Roman defends his WWE Universal Championship for a staggering 3rd consecutive year.
Finish the story at WrestleMania!
The 39th annual WrestleMania is set for its biggest 2-night event in history. The stars will be out. Legends will be made. The biggest event in live entertainment awaits its next illustrious chapter as WrestleMania goes Hollywood.
Cricket Nationwide 5G is crazy fast and powerful. It kind of makes it the EST like you.
Girl, I'm the one that only EST.
How's that?
Because I'm the strongest, fastest, and the realest.
Ooh, think I could ever be the EST?
Maybe.
How about now?
Still, just maybe. You're the cutest, though.
Girl, I'll take it. Smile. You're on Cricket.
Please direct your attention to the stage and welcome Make-A-Wish kids from all over the United States who all share one dream to go to WrestleMania!
All right, guys, have some fun. It's time to go to work.
And his opponent from West Newbury, Massachusetts, weighing in at 251 pounds,
I've said it before, I'll say it again, the absolute greatest of all time, the 16-time world champion, John Cena is here.
And from the sounds of it, Cole, over 75,000 members of the WWE Universe agree with you.
This marks John Cena's 16th WrestleMania match. His first one all the way back in 2004. He kicked off WrestleMania that year and would beat Big Show for the United States Championship. Here tonight, he tries to win the same title against the upstart Austin Theory.
Woo, what a WrestleMania moment that was. And guys, WrestleMania is presented by Snickers Satisfies, and by WWE 2K23. Critics are calling this the best WWE game ever made. Get in the game today and jumpstart your dream faction with this exclusive locker code available now. Guys, now we have another member of our broadcast.
I'm in the game.
So am I.
How about you?
One of these days, guys, we got Byron Saxton hanging out with members of the WWE Universe in our Cricket Fan Zone. Byron, how you doing? What are you wearing today? I want to see the suit.
We are in the Cricket Fan Zone where I feel at home. Once again, my hearing is depleted. I can't hear a word, but feel the energy around me, and specifically the energy of two members of the WWE Universe. Right here. Tell me, what is your name?
My name's Caleb.
And night 2 of WrestleMania is upon us. What match do you want to see the most?
Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre.
Okay, a fan of the Intercontinental Championship match. You, sir, okay, what match do you want to see the most tonight?
Forward to Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes is taking that title home tonight. Saluted his family for so long. He finishes that story tonight. He finishes it tonight and takes down the Tribal Chief tonight. I'm excited for it, Byron. I'm excited for it, man.
Will we see the demise of the Tribal Chief? I don't know, but we're going to find out in a couple hours. In the meantime, I'm here to party with the people, and I'm sending it back to you guys.
Yes, Saxton, great stuff, buddy. Now, we've got a fatal four-way match tonight tonight, folks. And 2 weeks ago on SmackDown, this deadly duo punched their
We
ticket.
actually just came out here to let you know we got added to the match at WrestleMania.
Can you imagine how the others are feeling right now ahead of this fatal 4-way match tonight? Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. You got Natalya and Shotzi, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, and from Raw, Sonya Deville and Chelsea
This
Green.
past Friday on SmackDown, one representative of each of those 4 teams competing tonight took each other on in a fatal 4-way singles match. The end result, however, the powerhouse Raquel Rodriguez reigned supreme. Now the question has to be, will it be a similar result tonight for Raquel Rodriguez when she teams up with Liv Morgan in the WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way Tag Match?
All right, guys. Again, we are here at WrestleMania Night 2 kickoff show. Peter is back joining us after getting that first fan look.
What's up, guys? Kayla, look, my dog's here.
That's
Bear the dog.
Wow,
I
look
feel
at that.
that was super cool. Psyched to be back with you guys. WrestleMania Sunday. This feels there's something special in the air tonight.
Closest you'll ever get to a catwalk, buddy.
Thank you.
Well, listen, we're glad you're here back on the kickoff panel because we do want to talk about that match right there. This is really going to be an opportunity for all of these women to showcase their talents, both in a team but also individually.
Yeah, that's the thing. This is what a huge opportunity for all the women here. We saw last night exactly how the Street Profits took advantage of that opportunity. The question is, who now? Like, this isn't a title match, but what it is a pride match. It's an opportunity to get yourself in the mix for the Tag Team Championships.
Yeah, and there's a lot of anger. KP mentioned it a second ago. The fact that Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler were the only team that didn't actually have to qualify for this matchup. They got allowed in by management. Now, the rest of the women's locker room furious about this, but hey, this is Hollywood, and when you're a star like Ronda Rousey that the world knows, you get treated a little bit differently, and you get allowed certain things that the rest of us aren't allowed. I have no problem whatsoever with Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler being allowed into this matchup without qualification. If anyone has a problem with it, here's what you need to do. Become a bigger star yourself.
Wow. How important is actual friendship and chemistry going to play into this? You got to catch up with Liv Morgan backstage. She seemed to be really high on her partner.
Yeah, that's the thing. How could you not be if Raquel's your partner? I mean, she possesses characteristics that, with all due respect, none of the other women in that match possess. Sheer power on a different level. So, yeah, I understand why if you're Liv Morgan, you're feeling pretty confident. And let's not forget, Liv's had a hell of a year as well.
Yeah.
The one thing I think you guys are looking is the X factor. In a matchup like this, experience weighs heavily. And someone like Natalya working with someone like Shotzi, giving that knowledge, that expert tutelage, having someone like Shotzi under that learning tree, that could be an explosive Molotov cocktail about to explode in this matchup here tonight, in my opinion.
Natalia needs to make sure she can control the erratic Shotzi, because who knows what is going to happen when Shotzi gets in that ring. I don't even think Shotzi knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, but what about the two? What about the two that don't give a damn about anyone else that they're in the ring with? They only care about themselves. Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green, right? A tale of two Karens. The complaint department, as Adam Pearce called them, over on Raw. I think they're an outside shot here. I really do, even though they've only been together for one night.
Yeah, I mean, that's how the tag team division is, right? You have teams that have been together forever, and they can dominate. But sometimes the right pair comes together, and you find magic.
It's going to be very unpredictable. Well, let's predict who you think is going to come out on top. Wade, who do you think?
I've got to go with the two black belt badasses, Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey. They don't like it, but they're all wrong. This is a night for the biggest egos to conquer the industry, and the egos don't come any bigger than Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler.
You know, I agree. I'm looking for that killer instinct. If you get in the crosshairs, who's gonna pull that trigger? Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey is my pick as well.
I'm going Sonya Deville. I'm going on the Raw side of things. Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green is the surprise pick here, because you mentioned the egos. They only care about themselves. They think they're absolutely brilliant at everything they do, but I think they might just prove that tonight.
I mean, come on. I made a pinky swear promise. You know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Liv and Raquel. That's who's getting the big dub, and that's who I'm going with.
I'm sure Liv is watching closely.
Absolutely. Also, there's another great tag team. Let's go backstage. Kathy Kelly has a very special tag team partner.
A very special tag team partner indeed. My guest at this time, special counsel to the undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman. Now, Mr. Heyman, last night we saw arguably one of the best tag team matches in WrestleMania history. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens capturing the undisputed tag team titles from the Usos. Now, looking forward to tonight, does the fall of the Usos mean the fall of Roman Reigns?
That's, wow, that's just direct. It's a direct question which merits a direct answer. And I'm glad that you asked me about our tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Because tonight is his night. And it reminds me, it takes me back. I'm very introspective. I'm almost nostalgic when I walk into the largest grossing WrestleMania of all time. And it reminds me of a conversation that I had when I was just a little kid in this industry. Just breaking in, just starting. And the big event where I was at the time was Starrcade. Nothing close to a WrestleMania, but as big as I could get at that moment. And I was tasked with talking into the camera about the enormity of the Starrcade event. And when it was done, I walked back through the curtain, and there he stood, majestic as always. As close to a father figure as I've ever had besides my own father, the American dream, Dusty Rhodes. And he said to me, Paul, that was a beautiful promo, but where's the money? And ever since that moment in my life, every time I articulate, every time I become an orator, every time I'm here to hype you and to sell you on the main event, which is where my clients always are, of WrestleMania, I think to myself, where's the money? And after all these years, Kathy, I have figured it out. The answer to that question is, where's the money? The money, T-H-E-E, the money, Roman Reigns. See how easy that was? Oh, and I can prove it to you. This is the largest grossing WrestleMania of all time. Who's on top? Roman Reigns. This is the hottest WWE, therefore sports entertainment, has ever been. Who's on top? Roman Reigns. It ain't Cody Rhodes. Nice try. He didn't crumble under the lights. He didn't crack under the pressure that we put him under. He's not wilting under the stress. He's ready for the main event of WrestleMania. Ready to lose to your tribal chief. Ready to lose to the head of the table. Ready to lose to the reigning, defending, undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion. The money. Roman Reigns.
On that note, I'm going to send it back to you guys.
All right, and always long-winded yet confident, Paul Heyman. Very interested to see.
You're always shading Paul still, huh?
It's always good to hear some story time. Guys, so much more to chat about on this WrestleMania Sunday. We can't wait to do it with all of you. Again, over 75,000 members of the WWE Universal filing in a sold-out SoFi Stadium. We got lots more to chat about. We'll do that when we return.
If you're going to reach for it, then be the best at it.
Woo! Next Sunday.
Whoa, I want to be just like that guy.
WWE Legends Dusty Rhodes.
To be in the ring with both his sons, it was a dream come true.
You knew it was special.
And then
I became the Legend Killer. This is going to be good.
WWE Rivals.
No one would leave Hell in a Cell until one of us was the last man standing. Those are the moments that people remember forever.
WWE Superstar Sunday continues next Sunday starting at 8, only on A&E.
Welcome back to the WrestleMania kickoff show. We are in Hollywood tonight. Packed crowd in SoFi Stadium. And I'll tell you, the bright lights of Hollywood and WrestleMania will be dimmed later when Edge, the Hall of Famer, the Rated R superstar, steps inside Hell in a Cell against the Demon Finn Balor.
Born out of the darkness, rising from the fire, emerged a Gothic warrior intent on capturing his desire. But the warrior turns opportunist as lust for gold infects his smile. His soul slowly tarnishes, and fate casts him to exile. In the fallen warrior's absence comes a prince born of the light, renowned for his tenacity, never ceding the fight. But in battling his own demons, the prince takes on a darker side. His virtue slowly strangled, replaced with sickly pride. After 9 years in the wilderness, the warrior's soul grown even blacker, returning now with wisdom, now with purpose, looking to write his final chapter. Assembling an army of the unwanted, the Judgment Day would come to rise. But in inviting the Demon Prince, the warrior had sealed his own demise. Once again cast to the shadows, to watch his creation only grow stronger, the warrior stood by and nursed his wounds, till he could not stand it any longer. Rising from the ashes to unleash unholy war, the warrior's soul found redemption in reclaiming something to fight for. But this impious alliance would not fade into the night, their actions growing even viler at each instance of the fight. Now this war has reached crescendo. It must finally come to end. And there is only one battlefield fit for these rivals to descend. So upon the grandest stage, with one final story left to tell, the warrior and the Demon Prince meet inside Hell in a Cell. A playground of sinful carnage, of eternal pain and fright. The battle of Edge and Finn Balor will reach its end tonight.
If that does not get you pumped for this match, you simply don't have a pulse. Welcome back in, folks. Edge, Finn Balor, the Demon inside Hell in a Cell. Wait, when you think about when this started with Edge and the Judgment Day at WrestleMania last year, he said he started the Judgment Day to elevate superstars that he felt could really be elevated. It's worked. Finn Balor, Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest, and Dominic Mysterio. But the way it's turned in the sadistic manner with a chair across his wife, Beth Phoenix, can you imagine how pumped up Edge is right now?
Oh, listen, I'm very close with Beth Phoenix. I've worked with her for years. I worked with her in commentary in NXT. I have a personal connection to this matchup. Edge is somebody who, for the past 25 years, is capable of going to a darker place than any other superstar. Finn Balor, the Demon, whatever we're going to see tonight, is in a whole world of trouble in Hell in a Cell.
It's, when you're talking about dark places, though, what's darker than being inside that Hell in a Cell? Which of these two superstars do you think is better equipped to be inside the structure?
Well, I mean, the experience nod you'd think goes to Edge. I mean, he's one of the most experienced superstars on the entire roster, but I don't know, Wade. You kind of walked right past that Demon like he's not built for this.
Hell.
I mean, the Demon's from Hell,
exactly.
right?
I'm pretty sure that's a zip code.
And you just said it, KP. Not only has the Demon always been built that way, but let's be real. This is the best Demon Finn Balor we've ever seen. This last couple of years of just Finn Balor has been incredible. and now this Judgment Day Finn Balor is about to become Judgment Day Demon? I don't know that I would look past this if I'm Edge.
You know, guys, I don't know. You guys may be overlooking a little bit of something. Edge is the one who created this whole thing. He's the one who, Finn Balor. Finn Balor was looking for something. Edge unlocked that demon inside of Finn Balor like no one ever could. And the thing is, Edge may have created the Judgment Day, but Finn Balor has taken the Judgment Day to another zone. So my thing is this: Edge could be walking to a battle zone tonight that I really don't think he's really prepared for in this situation. I could be wrong. Normally I'm not in a situation like this. We will find out.
And of course, if Finn Balor needs any inspiration tonight, just look back to WrestleMania Saturday and the heroics of Rhea Ripley. Man, that's going to fire anybody up if you're in the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, want to get some predictions here?
Okay, I've got to go with Edge. The guy is on a mission to exterminate the demon Finn Balor tonight, and I think it's going to happen.
You know, I want to go to Demon, but it's hard because Edge is an elder statesman like me. But I know time waits for no man. I know that, but I gotta go with my.
You're not leaving us yet, folk, are you? Time waits for no man. See you guys, taxi. Anyway, I'm gonna go with Edge, folk, and the reason is I talked about that chair over Beth Phoenix. Come on. Like, what's going through your mind if you're Edge right now? You get a chance to end Finn Balor tonight. Inside Hell in a Cell, he's going to do it.
We've officially had our most shocking moment of the kickoff show. If I had a shucky ducky quack quack, it would be this. Because Kevin Patrick didn't pick a fellow Irishman. I don't know if that's ever happened.
Banned from the city of Dublin for life. Just stuck in Atlanta.
Don't worry,
forever.
I'm going to make it up for you. I am going with the Demon Finn Balor. Okay. Now, we have so much coming up tonight. Not just on the kickoff show, but when it comes to WrestleMania Sunday, hello, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, the undisputed Universal Championship is on the line, and there it is, the placard on the door of the man, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. We got more to come. Sit tight.
Are you ready for this? I don't believe you. It's like uno, dos, tres. I'm so ready for this.
City of Angels, I'm back. Did you miss me? Take me up, baby! LA, make some noise! I got a zip line for my birthday! Y'all look beautiful! WrestleMania 2023! Let's go! Woo! Unbelievable! Unbelievable! Let's go!
Well, there is the Prime Energy mascot. Prime Energy, of course, the Prime Energy drink, one of Logan Paul's brands. Here to cheer him on tonight against Seth Rollins. This is Logan Paul's 28th birthday, Corey, and here's a Flair with a spectacular coming in the way he did to SoFi Stadium.
Well, we know Logan Paul never misses an opportunity to create viral moments, and there is no bigger stage than WrestleMania.
23 million subscribers on his YouTube channel, 5.8 billion views.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Toronto Beach, Puerto Rico, by way of Cleveland, Ohio, weighing in at 210 pounds, Logan Paul!
Logan Paul may be brash, perhaps even abrasive at times. Logan's certainly a polarizing individual, but you cannot argue with the aptitude for this industry that Logan has shown in his limited experience.
All right, everybody, welcome back to WrestleMania Goes Hollywood. And don't forget, the WrestleMania Kickoff Show is presented by Cricket. Everything you want, including the price. We just saw one of the big moments to come out of WrestleMania Night 1. That was Logan Paul ziplining onto the WrestleMania stage. But there were so many more magical moments. Let's take a look back at WrestleMania Saturday.
Look, as a master storyteller, I'm here to tell you all the story. A once upon a time in Hollywood story.
It is an event that has turned into a worldwide phenomenon.
Welcome to WrestleMania!
We got star power. You're welcome.
Tonight's attendance, 80,497!
In this Hollywood city, the city of the stars, movies, women, and cars. Well, I guess I'll stop. Say, hey, hey, hey.
They can't stop us now. We've been working so hard, reaching up for the stars. We gon' make it and they can't stop us now. Even if we fall down, we'll be coming back round. Doesn't matter cause they can't stop us now. Stop us now. Stop us now. No, they can't stop us now. Stop us now. Stop us now. They can't stop us now. Stop us now. Stop us now. They can't stop us. We've got a vision with ambition, and our goal is to go higher with this fire in our soul. We're on a mission to be bold and go where no one's ever been before. Stop us now, stop us now. No, they can't stop us now. Stop us now, stop us now. They can't stop us. It can't be tamed. They can't stop us. Won't let the doubt creep in as we begin to rise. Keep getting stronger, wait no longer for the prize. Shut your mouth! Rolling on and you can see it in our eyes. We'll do whatever it takes to make us win. We've been working so hard, reaching up for the stars. We gon' make it and they can't stop us. Even if we fall down, we'll be coming back round. Doesn't matter cause they can't stop us now. Stop us now. Stop us now. No, they can't stop us now. Stop us now. Stop us now. They can't stop us now. Waiting for a lifetime, for one chance, for one night. Igniting the light. Yeah, I'm ready to fight.
WrestleMania was absolutely incredible. We have brand new tag team champions. Woo. Oh man, that was, well, good talk. We got Greg Miller here, host of This Is Awesome. How you doing?
I'm excellent. How are you? Happy WrestleMania Night 2. I can't wait.
I can't wait. Okay, you talk about wrestling all the time. WWE is your passion, is your love. So I want to hear from you some of your favorite moments from night one.
Man, I think we talk about in the entire build to WrestleMania, right? WrestleMania moments, and we had so many last night, so many emotional payoffs. For me, the first image that jumps to mind is Rhea Ripley with that championship belt and Charlotte Flair out there smiling, knowing they gave all they could have, but also being proud. It's like that's what WrestleMania is all about, Booker.
Yeah, you know what? Every time you come on the show, man, you make me feel like I'm in the Situation Room. You know what
about Wolf Blitzer? I class the joint up, King Booker. That's what I do. And I don't
Wolf Blitzer was exactly like that. I gotta be honest.
And I don't like you stepping on my style either. All right?
I'm just saying, man.
Now, you and I were talking earlier, though. How amazing let's just talk about the entrances in the Mysterio match. I mean,
oh my gosh.
It was so incredible, right?
Dominic spent about as much time in jail as I ever have in a gym. And he is committed to it, and he is riding with it, and I love it. But yes, those entrances, let alone Eddie.
I mean,
Eddie,
oh yeah.
That was beautiful.
Come on. It was amazing. It was brilliant. Made me want to cry. Just like the end, right? I mean, when you talk about the finale of WrestleMania last night, KO and Sammy finally beating the Bloodline.
Woo!
I see so many Bloodline posters and shirts.
That's why no one's cheering.
They lost. It's over.
It's
The
over.
Bloodline is dead.
Wait. You really believe the Bloodline is dead? Because that's just one piece of the Bloodline.
Exactly.
You
It
think
was the
tonight
first weak spot, and now it goes down. Because, ladies and gentlemen, there is an American nightmare coming tonight.
Yeah.
His name is Cody Rhodes, and you will acknowledge him.
So I want to talk about how WrestleMania Night 1 kicked off, and that was John Cena, Austin Theory. I obviously didn't get to talk to you before that match. Did it go the way you thought it was going to go?
You know, in a lot of ways, yes. Because, of course, Austin Theory just slimed his way to victory. He was beat. It was over. He tapped out, as they said. We all saw it. We all know. But, of course, John Cena getting the loss in the end, a heartbreaker for him.
I know, especially in Hollywood, which is, home.
Well, yeah, and every time we have the privilege to see John, we never know when it's the last time. When he rolls to this point, he's like Booker's age. It could end at any moment.
We just said it a second ago. Time waits for no man.
And I saw Booker after he made the walk back in the Royal Rumble. He looked like he was about to collapse.
Right,
So
yeah.
you just never know. But man, all due respect to the great John Cena, it was amazing just to have him.
It really was.
Hey, speaking of legends, we have to talk about Rey Mysterio's entrance.
Oh my God.
The lowrider with Snoop, something else.
It was insane, right? And I think you see it all merge so well. First off, Snoop Dogg. We're missing the fact that Snoop Dogg drove Ray to the ring.
come
Amazing.
on.
Viva La Raza, into Ray's music. And then it hit the family at ringside.
And let's not forget, Bad Bunny on Spanish commentary as well.
Yeah, of course.
We go back to the match, the Ray and Dominic match real quickly. I did catch up with Dom after his match. If you go onto my social media, you'll see the little interview I got where he didn't speak to me, where I asked how it felt getting spanked by his daddy in front of all of WWE. That was my favorite moment from the night, hands down.
Yeah, that boy needs to learn some sense, and I'm glad Ray put it into his bottom.
Yeah, he may have learned it last night.
I think so. Okay, we got night 2 tonight. So, favorite match you're looking forward to?
I mean, come on.
Besides, okay, we know Cody Rhodes. What else?
Let's go then to Hell in a Cell.
There we go.
Yeah, why not?
Let's see the rated R superstar go up against the Demon.
Yes.
What are these two going to do to each other in there?
Man.
I don't want to know, Wade.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching it through my fingers. It's going to be a sick matchup. But, what's your prediction for that one?
Edge.
There we
Edge
go.
puts
Same
them
as me.
down.
I like it's
Yeah.
the jacket thing.
It's
We're
the jacket.
in
It's the
cahoots today.
similar physiques and beards. It makes sense.
You need a little more just for men like I put it, though. That'll help you.
I don't know, guys. I got to tell you, I spent a lot of time, and we'll get to it more later. Spent a lot of time thinking about how do you say it, Booker? All no bread?
No bread, no water, just me.
Omos and Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Size versus size. You know what I mean? You want to talk about legacies. You want to talk about how large these men are. Big E is getting what he always wanted. Meaty men bumping meat. And that's what we're getting tonight. Are you ready for meaty men bumping meat?
You are getting that tonight, and what an opportunity it's going to be for Omos to change his career.
Big time, big time. Tell us about your show right now. This is awesome. You can catch it on Peacock. Most awesome WrestleMania moments right now. What are some that stand out for you?
Oh, man. That's a great question. I think, for me, it's the one Sami Zayn brought out and really talked about and said, you remember where you were when it happened. Okay. Rock, Hogan.
Oh, yeah.
The dream match I don't think we ever thought we would see. And I remember being in Columbia, Missouri in college, sitting on the couch watching that match, being like, I can't believe this is happening. Seeing, Hollywood Hogan go back to being that real American, the red and the yellow, right? You knew it was happening even before the NWO showed up. The passing of the torch, you name it, that match had it all.
It literally took you on an emotional roller coaster. The way you felt at the beginning was not the way you felt at the end. And what I always think about, Greg, is that moment when they're just standing there staring off, generations staring at each other with Toronto just going insane in the background. That's a good pick right there, my friend.
What's yours?
That is number 2.
Wow.
Number 1 for me, of course, come on. It's the irresistible force and the immovable object. Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Pontiac, Michigan, 93,000. To me, that will always take me back to being 8 years old, which is part of it as well. But yeah, Hogan's involved in both of my favorite moments of all time, actually.
I love that. Well, let's have a little fun. We're already having a lot of fun. Let's have a little more fun. We've got this really cool little thing called Snapchat filters. Look at this. You can scan this QR code and unlock these Snapchat filters and transform into one of your favorite superstars. I think we're going to play with them real quickly. Can we throw one of these up on some... Oh, look at that.
Who is that? Is that The Miz?
Is The Miz here? Look at that. Where is he coming
wouldn't do that to my worst enemy.
Oh,
no!
I thought...
Awesome!
The host of WrestleMania is sitting right next to me on this kickoff. Oh, these are pretty awesome. Like I said, scan that QR code. You can unlock these filters and turn into one of your favorite superstars.
I love the way you said there's this thing called Snapchat.
I don't...
All these kids these days with their TikToks and their Snapchats.
Is that me?
Yes. Rosenberg's got hair again. How does that hair?
Give it up for Rick Knowledge hair.
I don't know if I like that at all. That's scaring me a little bit.
How did I become my rabbi?
Wait. Oh, it's coming.
Cody Rhodes.
Hey, I think it comes with a neck tattoo. If you turn your neck to the right or left, I think you'll see the little neck tattoo pop up.
Oh, my God, man.
Oh, there you go.
This is truly the American nightmare.
Yeah, turn your head. Let's see your tattoo.
No, just a nightmare. It's just an absolute nightmare.
All right, guys.
I love the way you said the little Snapchat. Your
Oh,
Alabama accent.
we've got Asuka there.
Oh,
Wow. Obviously, she's going after that Raw Women's Championship tonight when she takes on Bianca Belair.
That one's
She's
legitimately awesome. I'm actually very into the
You
Asuka.
get the Asian
I
mist
know.
when you get that, too.
That is awesome.
Oh,
you
look
gotta
at
be kidding me, right?
Hey, the suit matches the hair. I'm into it. I like it.
Wade looks like more like the Joker than Asuka? Why that happen?
Oh, these are so great. Oh, well, guys, listen, WrestleMania Night 2, if Night 1 was any indication of what to expect, it is going to be intense, insane, and history-making. I know also we are going to be... Oh, wait, hold on. I'm being told Cody Rhodes is arriving right now, coming out of his bus with his beautiful family. I'm so curious as to what his mentality is right now. I'm sure his beautiful wife and daughter are calming him before the biggest match of his career, guys. We're going to get into that match a little bit later on, but again, WrestleMania Night 2. Greg, thank you so much for joining us. Your insight is always very much appreciated. You are awesome. Guys, stick by. We've got more WrestleMania Kickoff Show coming up. We'll be right back.
Welcome to entertainment's greatest live event.
This is WrestleMania, baby! Listen to this! Listen to this!
He felt it, I felt it, everybody in the building felt it.
The match the world wanted.
Everybody remembers where they were when it happened.
Take that, Becky Lynch!
That will be what they play back forever.
Hey, AJ, do you have any advice for a young superstar?
Braun, you've come to the right guy. Hey, success in this business is 90% physical and the other half is mental. Now listen up. If you find a toilet in your dreams, don't use it. And always remember, I don't care how nice the soap is, never come out of the bathroom sniffing your finger.
You seem a bit confused. Maybe you need a Snickers.
Snickers satisfies.
Got a brand new swag.
Tonight only, free shipping on qualifying orders.
From Davenport, Iowa, weighing in at 225 pounds, Seth freaking Rollins!
Cody, did you always know you wanted to be a WWE superstar?
Oh, yeah.
Now you can know the thrill of being a superstar with WWE action figures.
Show them you've got what it takes to rule the ring.
Yeah! Ring and action figures each sold separately.
All right, welcome back, everyone. At the front of our desk, you can see the WWE Elite Collection action figures looking good. Where's Booker?
Mine all sold out.
And this is, by the way, their 100th Elite Collection series.
Wow.
That is a highly collectible set of figures there. Those are the ones that are going to be worth a lot of money in the future.
And we talked about this yesterday a little bit, but you two have action figures of your own. Was there ever a world
I
where
got, I got 30 of them.
Booker has 30. Very
He
proud.
made 31 of me, actually, but I didn't think I got you beat at, but yeah, 31.
No, but how cool is that for you? You know, I mean, as a little kid, you never grow up. I mean, you're going to grow up and have your own action figure, especially 30 of them.
No, never in a million years I would imagine having an action figure and walking in the store.
Look, and they still love you, Booker, right now.
Stay relevant, baby. Stay relevant. But more importantly, for my son and my daughter to be able to see something like that. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, I'll tell you that. Of all the people who bought my action figures, and they like to tweet me with the pictures that are action figures, for some reason they all ended up being dog toys and getting chewed up by the family dog and thrown away. So I don't know. I don't know how many of them now exist.
Were you happy with the way your action figures look?
Of course. I mean, it's brilliant. The level of detail they can get in these things now.
They got the guns,
I am
right?
the first action figure in the history of action figures they made with a broken nose. They got it so accurate. They nailed it. It's a big hook in all my action figures. That's the thing I'm most proud of. It's groundbreaking action figure design.
Do you think an Omos action figure would fit inside the box?
Great
You need
question.
like two boxes stacked on each other, and probably double the price. The amount of plastic they need to put into those.
Oh man, I cannot wait for that one later. Cannot wait for it. Omos, Brock Lesnar coming your way here on WrestleMania Sunday. Think about some of the opponents that Brock Lesnar has faced at WrestleMania. Think Undertaker, Triple H, Roman Reigns, all colossal superstars, but he has never faced a giant.
WrestleMania has played host to some of the biggest collisions in WWE history. And this year, two titans are set for a colossal showdown.
Get ready for war, because here comes the conqueror.
Over his 20-year career, Brock Lesnar has used his natural physical gifts to conquer the competition. Standing at 6'3" tall and weighing 286 pounds, the Beast has the perfect build to send anyone to Suplex City. With a wingspan of 81 inches, Brock Lesnar has the ultimate tool to deliver the F5. So it's no surprise that with these weapons, Lesnar has achieved so many impressive accolades. 7-time WWE Champion, 3-time Universal Champion, 2-time Royal Rumble winner. The Beast even took his talents from the squared circle to the octagon, becoming UFC heavyweight champion. Brock Lesnar is capable of decimating any person who stands in front of him. But he's never faced anyone quite like Omos.
There is only one giant in the WWE.
7'3", 410 pounds, dwarfing some of WWE's most infamous giants. In the boxing ring, Omos's 87-inch reach would give him nearly a foot-long advantage over the average heavyweight fighter. And anchoring these gigantic arms are two gargantuan fists. At 14.5 inches, they're roughly double the size of the average man's hands.
You are blessed to be in the age of the Nigerian giant, Omos!
Brock Lesnar, you cannot suplex him. You cannot F5 him. You will not defeat him at WrestleMania.
When these two monsters clash in Hollywood, it's sure to be a battle like no other. It's Brock Lesnar versus Omos on the only stage big enough to contain these Goliaths, WrestleMania.
Oh man, pumped for this one. Book, how many times have you seen Brock Lesnar just toss his opponents around the ring with ease? I don't know if he's going to be able to F5 or suplex Omos tonight.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the difference. This is a total different dynamic for Brock Lesnar. Brock's normally the biggest, the strongest in matchup, but this one is totally different because Omos, I mean, he has untapped power, untapped potential. We really don't know how good Omos actually could be, but we do know this. If he could beat Brock Lesnar, he's on a path where he's heading like that place I like to call the Nebula, baby, all the way out there past the stratosphere and past those dim stars, man. So this guy's future could be bright after this night here at WrestleMania.
I'll tell you guys one thing that I know. I don't know what's going to happen in this match, but one thing that really stood out to me, I'm sure you guys noticed it a few weeks ago, when Omos took Brock over the top rope, knocked him out of the ring and was standing tall. Did you guys see the look in Brock Lesnar's eyes? I have never once, I've seen Brock, working hard, really in a fight before. I have never seen him look up scared.
So
I saw a little bit
fear.
of fear in Brock
Wow.
Lesnar.
Not even that. And then this past week on Raw, Brock Lesnar tried a completely different tactic. You know what? Let me try and jump the Nigerian Giant almost. Let me get one step up on him before the fight even commences. It immediately backfired. Brock Lesnar has thrown everything at Omos so far. Nothing has worked. Omos may well have the Beast's number.
How much of a factor does MVP play
Oh, what a
in
man.
the growth of Omos?
That's the brilliant part. Omos, 2 years ago, even 12 months ago, was nothing like the Omos we see today. That is 100% down to the strategizing and the confidence that MVP has instilled in the Nigerian Giant. The Nigerian Giant now believes he is the man here.
No, I agree 100%. Having that backing that MVP brings to the table, as well as that expert tutelage, somebody to actually have all bases covered, and that right there is going to lead Omos to a place that it's going to be. This guy's got a hell of a future.
And you realize, I'm sorry, Kayla.
Oh, no, go ahead.
You realize that the story kind of begins, it's 1 year ago. It was at WrestleMania when Bobby Lashley didn't include MVP, thought he could do it on his own. And MVP was sickened by this. Before you know it, he ends up teaming up with Omos. And you guys just said it. It's like Omos physically transformed the second MVP got there. This guy's always been big. He's ripped now. This is a different Omos than we've seen before.
MVP is going to be a man in demand going forward for a lot of young superstars who are looking for that mentorship, that leadership, that guidance. MVP may well be the future of that realm in WWE.
William Morris endeavors here in
Right.
Well, I'm curious. You've mentioned several times, what this means for Omos if he beats Brock Lesnar on the grandest stage of them all. And if he does that, my question is, what happens to Brock?
That is a great question.
And you're right. And this is the unthinkable in so many ways. Brock Lesnar losing in a WrestleMania match to, in many ways, an upstart. Yes, he's 7'3", he's 410 pounds. He was weighed on the weighing machine last week on Raw.
I heard you say that. I went out. I started Googling what a weighing machine.
Oh, man. Did you ever just forget a word? Word scale.
It happens. We talk so much, it's bound to happen.
I don't know. I can't imagine that happening tonight. I just can't for the life of me imagine Brock Lesnar being tamed by the Giant. Brock Lesnar, there must be a fire raging deep inside his soul right now.
He can't
after
lose.
being embarrassed on Raw on back-to-back weeks and coming face-to-face with Omos.
Just imagine a beast incarnate with a shattered ego.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar will become a shell of his former self if he cannot conquer the Giant tonight.
But on the flip side, imagine what the WrestleMania moment it will be if Brock Lesnar can F5 the Giant. Can you imagine that?
Oh, my
Can
God.
you imagine that
Oh,
moment?
yeah.
We'll be watching that
chance.
That's a Hogan Andre moment right there, seriously.
All right, care to make some picks? Hopefully, these gentlemen aren't anywhere close by listening to what you have to say. Who do you got?
20 years impervious to all opponents. Finally tonight, Brock Lesnar comes undone. Omos wins.
You know what? This is something totally different that we've ever seen since Andre the Giant. I got to go with Omos.
Do you know what? Hey, let's all have a cheers to some white lightning. I'm going to go Omos tonight. Brock Lesnar. I'll take it back. Cheers to white lightning. No. Brock, right?
Wait a minute. What the hell?
What's going on with KP?
He's protecting himself.
He's been
pissed both.
drinking
He
some
thinks they're
white
both
lightning.
going. Smart man.
Brock Lesnar.
I'm sorry. I love you, LA. I love Los Angeles. I'm going with the Giant Omos tonight. I have to.
Wow.
Well, listen, there are a lot
What
of...
LA got to do with it?
I was just trying to get a cheap pop, Buck. Now, listen, there may be a lot of boos raining down right now, but there are a lot of cheers on Friday night. We inducted the Hall of Fame class of 2023 to the WWE Hall of Fame. Let's take a look back.
Welcome to the 2023 WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
We'll celebrate superstars of our past who continue to shape our future.
To the coolest, classiest, boldly unapologetic gal you'll ever meet.
She is one of a kind, and no one turned the channel when Stacy was on.
My ride or die, Stacy Keibler.
I am so grateful
grateful for everyone who has been a part of my WWE journey. Most importantly, the greatest fans in the world. I love you all.
It's me, Jerry the King Lawler, inducting Andy Kaufman into the WWE Hall of Fame. Tonight would have been the biggest night of his life.
Jerry, thank you so much. He got into wrestling because he was a lifelong fan.
And he saw the beauty in this world, just like all of you love it.
Tim White was a great friend of everybody's.
Speaking of Timmy's bar, he would go to the writers, hey, look, how about using the APA to come to my bar, I could use a new wall. We looked at each other and said, hey, you know what? And he's using us, man.
If my brother was here today, he would say thank you to everyone in the WWE and the fans. Thank you very much.
This is the best way to put it, from my heart, and it's the truth. He is the greatest Japanese wrestler I've ever been in the ring with. The great Muta.
I'm so honored to be in the WWE Hall of Fame.
When you have the type of talent that revolutionizes the sport worldwide and breaks the blueprint and paradigm for what a superstar is supposed to look like, you know why we're honoring him tonight. Rey, you are the pride of the Latinos. You're 2023 Hall of Famer, Rey Mysterio.
Just know that I never wanted to bring out the sensitive side of me. I wanted you to see the tough Rey Mysterio. I'm crying right now. Come on. I started in this business in Tijuana, Mexico. The capes, the masks made superheroes come to life, and I wanted to be a part of that world. I didn't look like a typical WWE superstar. Thank you, WWE, for letting me break the mold of what a superstar should look like. I truly believe that none of this would be possible without all of you, the WWE Universe. You guys have made the name Rey Mysterio immortal.
Wow. All right, everybody. Gosh, I know that moment is still giving all of us chills, all of the feels. It is WrestleMania Night 2, by the way, only about 40 minutes away from the action getting started, but I do want to go back and talk about that moment right there. Rey Mysterio being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. What a moment.
Yeah, it was amazing to think about the fact that he gave that incredible speech the whole time on his mind, knowing that he's going to fight his son the next day at WrestleMania, and then to go get the win on that stage. Truly an iconic weekend for an iconic superstar.
No doubt about it. If Rey Mysterio is not your favorite human being in this entire industry, then I don't like you. We ain't going to be friends. Rey Mysterio is the man I'm fortunate enough to have been in the ring with Rey many times. I've been beaten by Rey almost every time, but what a hero he truly is.
I feel the same way. The boys normally don't say somebody's their favorite wrestler, but Rey Mysterio has always been my favorite wrestler, man. He's always been a great person as well.
Also, one of the best speeches, Conan's speech, one of the best speeches
awesome.
I've ever heard in helping induct Rey. Rey was a guest on the After the Bell podcast, our WWE podcast with Corey Graves and myself, and he spoke about his first ever match as a wrestler, and Angie was there. His wife was there watching his first ever match, and they've had this journey together the entire way, which made the Dominic thing so much more difficult, I think, and so distracting. But credit to Rey for getting through the Hall of Fame, and then, what did he do again to his son?
He whooped his
But I do want to say one thing. Rey got the win, and it was an amazing win, and he should be proud of it. But you can zoom in tight right here. You can spread this around the internet. This is a fact. This is a fact what I'm saying. Dominic Mysterio lost that match last night. But in that moment, I truly believe he solidified himself as a future superstar in this industry.
A breakout superstar.
Was that, Book, there are moments like that when you can lose the match,
but it changes your career because of the performance.
I'd say Dominic Stock went way up after last night because he went in there and he proved that he is an entertainer, a guy that's going to go out and perform at the highest level under the brightest lights. You got to give that kid a big pat on the back.
Yeah, and Dominic Mysterio, he's just going to get better and better. He's still young. He's still relatively inexperienced. Give him 20 more years of this. He is going to be amazing. We've got a big, big future in WWE.
Future Hall of Famer. That's big words from Robert T. I love that. Love that. All right, so from the latest Hall of Famer in Rey Mysterio to the first ever Hall of Famer in Andre the Giant on Friday night. It was the 9th annual Andre the Giant Battle Royal. That was good.
It is WrestleMania weekend, and this is the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. The ring is filled with WWE superstars. You're eliminated when you go over the top rope and both feet hit the floor. Lashley, Strowman, Reed remain. And now Bronson Reed! Strowman's done. We're now to Bronson Reed and Bobby Lashley. Nobody home! There! Reed eliminated! Bobby Lashley's the winner!
Lashley just did the incredible.
Bobby Lashley wins the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Bobby Lashley just continuing to prove his dominance. Congratulations. Looks like everybody here behind you is excited to see that victory as well. But guys, a little over half hour, WrestleMania Night 2. Cannot wait to see what is going to come out of tonight. But that's this weekend. Thought maybe it'd be kind of cool to show you a little preview of what's going to happen next year at WrestleMania 40. Watch this.
The city of brotherly love. It's got its own beat. The birthplace of America, where you're always reminded that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness isn't just a saying, but a way of life. It's passionate. It's proud. With a no-quit attitude. Because there's tough. And then there's Philly tough. Next April, the Knockout Punch is coming.
This is the greatest live event in entertainment.
And that's a Philly day.
Remember what your life coach says. You are awesome, and you're gonna crush it. Yes.
Miz, they're ready for your WrestleMania performance.
They call me the A-lister. I am the most must-see superstar in all of the WWE. And that is why they asked this guy to host WrestleMania. Guy Spade. WrestleMania is coming.
It's coming. It's coming.
WrestleMania is coming to Hollywood. Do you feel yourself succumbing?
It's coming. It's coming.
I hope you all are coming. It's gonna be good. The biggest of all. Bigger than stupendous. Bigger than my balls. 2 enormous blockbuster nights of trend-setting stars, mind-blowing action, and unparalleled entertainment are coming to Hollywood for WrestleMania 39, baby! Don't believe me? The proof is in the pudding of our past. When Andre got slammed to the mat by Hogan, remember that Trish Stratus took you there. HBK retired Flair. Tina Army lookalikes, zipline takes, motorbikes. Charlotte Flair choppered in. Stone Cold Stunner gets the win. And spears slowly into fire. Take your streak. McIntyre wins inside the Thunderdome. Becky Two-Bell takes it home. Rock Bottom's King of Kings. Shock fans. Kofi wins. Snoop Dogg, Pitbull, Joan Jett. What haven't we done yet? Well, we're about to find out. When WrestleMania goes Hollywood.
Yeah!
All right, everybody, welcome back. We are a half hour away from WrestleMania Goes Hollywood Night 2. We are here on the kickoff show now, joined by George Kittle. How are you? Look at your shirt. Clearly you. How you doing over there?
Oh, say again?
How are you?
I'm wonderful. Are you kidding me? WrestleMania, SoFi Stadium, LA. Sun is shining. The people are beautiful. Woo! WrestleMania's hot, baby.
What do you think about the host of WrestleMania's performance there?
I'm not gonna lie, that was very well done. That's difficult. Singing in front of people is very difficult. So he did a great job there. Much better there than he did last night in the ring.
Well, I was gonna talk about your involvement last night. You know.
Oh wow. Pat McAfee gave me a call. He's like, "Hey, any chance you want to be interested in hopping in over the railing, be a part of WrestleMania?" I was like, "Yeah, sounds great. Where do I sign?"
You just sat there waiting for the moment.
Yep,
He gave you the look, and you said, "Let's do it."
Gave me the look. It was awesome. Got over a little bit. Miz was fantastic for it, but it was just really fun to be able to share the ring.
What did he say to you here, the Miz?
Oh, I was having him get back in the ring, and he was just like, "You know what? Sit down. Just sit down. You have nothing to do with this." And
there he goes. Look at him taking off the jacket. It's almost like he's a Pro Bowl tight end.
Goodness. Miz, what are we doing?
I think we need to get you involved more often.
Now this, Pat just front flipping off that, the swanton.
I got to tell you, Pat's too rich to be doing that. That's insane. He's too rich.
Well, listen, earlier it was really cool. We had Peter walking around backstage, and he walked out into SoFi and kind of gave us an idea what it was like. What did it feel like to be out there last night? WrestleMania Goes Hollywood Night 1, over 75,000 members of the WWE Universe.
Wow, it was a dream. I mean, I felt like I'm a 13-year-old kid, just out there. Hey, we want you to truck stick a guy, professional at it, and then you're gonna raise your hand in the ring with Pat McAfee. Like, who would have thought? Like, I'm not gonna stop smiling for 8 months. What a fantastic moment!
I gotta ask you a question, George. Fellow tight end The Gronk has competed in WWE. He's won championships in WWE before. Now you got a little taste of the action here. Are we gonna see more in the future from George Kittle in a WWE
You're a natural.
ring?
I kind of
You know
think
what?
so.
I mean, Pat McAfee, Mr. H, they have my phone number. I'll always return those calls, baby.
Nice, all right.
I wrote the promo for him. My name's George Kittle, and just like a Skittle, I'll make you break down and taste the rainbow.
Yes, sir.
Hey, what about tonight, George?
Yes.
Which match are you looking forward to the most?
Tonight? Ooh. I mean, Cody versus Roman. That's a fantastic main event. Huge. I'm super excited about that. But I'm really looking forward to the cage match.
Hell in a Cell, baby.
Hey, the demon versus Edge. That's going to be wild. It's going to be dark. It's going to be violent. I'm really looking forward to that one.
Well, you're looking forward to it, though, but what do you think is going to happen in that match?
Say again?
What do you think is going to happen?
What's going to happen?
Yeah, in your opinion.
Oh, I mean,
Who's gonna win?
The demon doesn't lose very often, so I'm going with him. I love Finn. He's fantastic. Tried to interfere last night, too. He's just all over the place. Big fan.
Is there any chance that next year after you score a touchdown, you throw up that "We the One"? Would you ever do such a thing as a celebration?
You dare.
For Roman? Oh, who knows? Hey, I mean, love the Usos, love Roman. Sad the Usos lost last night, but...
A historic run. It had to come to an end eventually,
It did, and to two fantastic people, too, between KO and Sammy. Like, that, what an event last night, too. That was amazing. That was awesome. But, hey, who knows? You throw that up for Roman, he's almost at 1,000 days. Crazy.
It's pretty amazing.
So as a fan, you'd be devastated to see the bloodline completely crumble here if Roman loses tonight.
I'm kind of 50-50. Part of me wants to see chaos ensue. Like, hey, let Cody and let Sammy and KO rule it for a little bit. But how do you end the streak before it gets to 1,000 days? Because it's never been done.
Is the real reason you like the bloodline because they're all 49ers fans? Is that
true? That is
You're not wrong, but there are fantastic wrestlers. They always put on great shows. But I am a fan of them. But yes, the fact that they like the Bang Bang Niner Gang. I love that.
All right, well, listen, thank you. It's always a pleasure having you here. And like you said earlier, who knows? Maybe we'll see more.
He's
going to
end up in a match. Right? He's going to end up in a match.
I'll be close. I might hop it again. Who knows?
I'll be a promo guy. All right.
You got me.
What was your finishing move be called?
Oh, Stunner.
Yeah?
Oh, well, okay.
I'll do it again.
All right, guys, thank you so much. And again, so much to look forward to today. WrestleMania Goes Hollywood Night 2, including that match we were were just disgusting. Cody Rhodes getting that opportunity to realize his dream and do what no other superstar has been able to do, and that is to attempt to defeat the head of the table, Roman Reigns.
Edge has gone to the dark side, and he has called out the Demon in Finn Balor, and they are headed for Hell in a Cell. Can Edge finally end the Demon and Balor tonight?
And 4 top tag teams compete in the WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way Tag Match. Which team is going to put themselves in the conversation for a future opportunity at Tag Gold?
Hey, Book, what do you say? No bread, right?
No water. Yes.
Here we go again.
Oh, yeah, Brock Lesnar. 2 massive men in the ring. Brock Lesnar will take on the Nigerian giant Omos. And by the way, that match will open WrestleMania Sunday.
And we were talking about earlier how impressive Gunther's reign has been, how dominant he's been, and elevating that IC title to a sacred status. And he intends to continue that impressive streak as he defends his title tonight against Sheamus and Drew McIntyre.
And speaking of dominance, Kayla, what about Bianca Belair? The EST, the Raw Women's Champion. She won the title at WrestleMania last year. Now looking to three-peat at WrestleMania tonight when Bianca takes on the Empress of Tomorrow.
One year ago at WrestleMania, my whole life changed.
The new Raw Women's Champion, the EST, Bianca Belair.
The past 12 months representing this title, Monday Night Raw, and WWE as a whole has been the wildest ride I could have ever imagined.
Watch me shine now.
Please welcome WWE Raw Women's Champion.
We have Bianca Belair.
Bianca Belair.
They call me the EST of WWE.
Quickest, the toughest, the baddest, the strongest, the smartest.
Under the bright est lights of Hollywood, I'm prepared for the big est test yet. Because you can't spell WrestleMania without EST.
Bianca! Your destiny's written all over the sky.
The twisted tale of Asuka.
I already live in your tomorrow. You can hide. The Empress of Tomorrow.
She is hypnotic. She is chaotic. The most vicious Asuka we have ever seen in a WWE ring. Asuka is going to WrestleMania for a Raw Women's Championship match with Bianca Belair.
Bianca! Come on right now!
I hope you called me out here to tell everybody how we're going to tear the house down at WrestleMania.
Reading the thoughts that take over your mind.
Asuka with the mind games.
I am the future of your sorrow. You can hide.
The Empress of Tomorrow with a declaration of war. Is the EST ready for Asuka?
The Empress can play all the mind games she wants. This last year, I've proven that I'm built for moments like this. Asuka, it's on.
WrestleMania, the Raw Women's title on the line.
Oh, and look at that. The EST of WWE is arriving here to SoFi looking as fly as she always does. She's looking confident. She looks really calm before she goes up against one of the most impressive and decorated superstars in the women's division. Again, that match is happening a little bit later tonight. Guys, little over 20 minutes away from WrestleMania Night 2, but let's break down that match here for a minute. Peter.
Well, the first thing I was thinking when I thought about Bianca, it was the same thing Wade said earlier. If Rey Mysterio's not your favorite person, you're a bad person. That's how I feel about the EST. I mean, she is just an incredible person, an incredible champion. But sure, Book, I'm sure you can attest to this. I believe you were a five-time champion.
6 actually. Yeah,
6 actually, but it messed it up. Yeah. But it gets hard to have that crown for so long, and I just wonder if the pressure now has mounted too much for a challenger of Asuka's level.
I really don't think Bianca is ready to give it up just yet. I always say that championship gives you that cloak of invincibility, and right now Bianca Belair seems like she is unstoppable. But I must say, it would not be an upset if Asuka went out there and took that championship, because let's just put it out. NXT champion one time, 2-time Raw champion, 1-time SmackDown champion, tag team champion with 3 different partners. Right there tells me she is capable of going out there and winning this match tonight without a hands down.
Well, here's the thing. Bianca Belair is so good. You never see her unnerved. You never see her concerned. You never see a look of shock on her face, because she can handle anything that gets thrown her way until Asuka.
There you go.
As we just saw in that video package, it was like an alien life form had landed in front of Bianca Belair in the middle of that ring in the form of Asuka. Bianca Belair has no idea how to handle the Empress of Tomorrow.
So I caught up with Bianca earlier on today, and she said, finally, we're down to business. Finally, here's the match. No more mind games, right? Like, think about what Bianca's been through with Asuka in the ring, whether it's the mist or the mind games, picking up her championship, walking away with it. I think Bianca just wants to get her hands all over Asuka and end Asuka tonight, and still the Raw Women's Champion. That's where Bianca wants to get to.
Yeah, and you really can't forget about the fact, I mean, we know Bianca's already an all-time great. But we just showed the highlights from the Hall of Fame. You guys remember Ric Flair's speech. He was talking about all the amazing Japanese superstars there have been in this business. And while talking about the Great Muta, Ric Flair put Asuka on that level. She is that great a superstar. So no one should be sleeping on the Empress of Tomorrow, that's for sure.
Yeah, sometimes you overlook some superstars, because historically, some superstars with face paint, with tricks, it's really covering up the fact that there isn't much substance beneath that, okay? That's the attraction. It's the face paint. With Asuka, there is a highly accomplished champion behind all of this. Do not let that fool you.
We could hear Corey Graves there. Corey said on Raw, the most vicious Asuka we've ever seen.
That's right.
Right now. You add to that, is Asuka also the most unpredictable WWE superstar today? She might very well be.
You know, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you know, I'm listening to you guys talk here. You know, we always say, is no one's ready for Asuka? Is Bianca ready for? Is Asuka ready for Bianca? I mean, come on.
That's exactly what I was going. I mean, Bianca Belair, she didn't slip on a banana peel or, you know, get into this position by osmosis or anything like that. She earned this position. She worked her behind off. And I think, you know, that one loss when Becky Lynch came back and snatched that championship from, that did something.
Yeah.
And I think that right there is going to be the difference maker.
Went to the back of the line is what she did.
Yeah.
Becky said, go to the back of the line.
Yeah.
Bianca went to the back of the line. She worked her ass off to get back to the front of the line, get that opportunity, which she did at WrestleMania.
Listen, my co-host on the Cheap Heat podcast on The Ringer, Stat Guy Greg, loves Bianca Belair. You know what he calls her?
What's that?
Jane Cena. She is that kind of superstar. She shows up to the big matches. She wins time and time again. She is that great. Listen, this could be match of the night. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
We know everyone's looking towards Roman Cody, and with good reason.
Yeah.
But these are 2 future Hall of Famers as well.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait. Okay, let's get our predictions. Wade.
Tonight, Bianca Belair gets dragged outside of her giant world of comfortability. Great word. Asuka wins.
You know, I can't. I got to go with the champion. Champion has the advantage in a situation like this. I got to go with Bianca Belair.
Three-peat at WrestleMania for Bianca Belair. And Bianca Belair will also become, very shortly, the longest reigning Raw Women's Champion in WWE history.
It's going to be a very happy household. Last night, Street Profits, big win. Tonight, Bianca Belair retains as Raw Women's Champion.
All right, there we go. Guys, I am so pumped for all these matches we've been discussing that are going down here tonight at WrestleMania Night 2. You hear them. Over 75,000 members of our WWE Universe piling in SoFi. They are ready for it all. We still got, I don't know, another massive match to discuss. And we're going to do that here on Just a Few. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back.
Give them what they want.
Crack a cold one, let's get into it.
I need to do this more often.
So good.
I love every minute of it.
Ric Flair was never a character. It's been my life.
For a guy who doesn't believe in destiny, we're on a hell of a course here.
It's massive on every level. It's a dream come true.
¡Viva la raza!
Mysterio made it clear in his Hall of Fame speech last night what Eddie Guerrero meant to him in his career. He paid homage to Eddie tonight, coming out here in Snoop Dogg's Lowrider. He even reformed the Latino World Order on SmackDown to pay homage to the late great Eddie Guerrero. And now Rey Mysterio will try to take out, will try to punish the disrespectful son, Dominic.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Less than 15 minutes away from WrestleMania Night 2 getting started. We got Byron Saxton hanging out with members of the WWE Universe in the Cricket Fan Zone. Hey, Byron.
Thank you so much, guys. I am here in the Cricket Fan Zone trailer, and we have some serious business to attend to because we have a serious main event for Night 2 of WrestleMania. The undisputed WWE Universal Championship will be on the line as Roman Reigns defense against Cody Rhodes. But like I always like to do, I like to go to the people to get their opinions on who's going to win this match. So to my right, we have
Emily.
And to my left, we have
Diego.
And by the way, it's Diego's birthday. Happy birthday, Diego. And in the back, I got Rose, our special enforcer, just to make sure nothing crazy happens, okay? All right, going with you first. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, who leaves WrestleMania as champion?
Absolutely, without a doubt, it's Roman Reigns. I mean, this man has been champ for over 945 days. He's the one. It's the bloodline, the tribal chief. He's got this.
Ooh, a lot of conviction behind the tribal chief. Diego, it's your birthday. You're feeling confident about the American Nightmare. Tell me why Cody Rhodes is winning the title tonight.
He's hitting a Coda Cutter out of nowhere while Roman Reigns is hitting Superman punches all the way to his face out of nowhere. Cody Cutter. And he's going to win the undisputed Universal Championship!
Yeah! Cody Rhodes? I think a lot of people agree with Diego that Cody Rhodes will leave here as the new undisputed WWE Universal Champion, but we shall find out later on tonight. In the meantime, back to you guys.
Thanks so much to Byron. And one more time, here's what we can look forward to tonight. This rivalry, which has been as venomous and and vicious as we see Edge and Finn Balor set to write a whole new chapter at WrestleMania inside Hell in a Cell. And in that career-altering structure, the Radar Superstar come face-to-face with the Demon.
How about our WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way match? Which team will catapult themselves into the tag title conversation by punching and victoring in WrestleMania tonight?
And after 20 years of complete domination, Brock Lesnar goes up against the 7'4", 400-pound Nigerian giant Omos. Has the Beast incarnate finally met his match?
And Gunther has already etched himself into the history books as one of the great Intercontinental Champions of all time. But boy, are his hands full tonight in a triple threat against Drew McIntyre and Sheamus.
Guys, we just discussed it. That highly decorated Empress of Tomorrow earned her opportunity to face EST when she won the Women's Elimination Chamber match. We always say, who's ready for Asuka? But is Asuka ready for Bianca Belair? We will find out tonight when these highly successful superstars lock horns at the show of shows.
It is time to dive deeper into the main event of WrestleMania Sunday. For 945 days, Roman Reigns has been running WWE. In his way tonight, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. It's Roman's legacy versus Cody's story.
At 8 years old, I knew not what I wanted to do, what I needed to do.
This is your dream, this is what you want. You want to complete the comeback, huh?
I have to finish the story.
Being in the main event with Roman Reigns, that's your dream. And that's where the story ends.
For some, you have become this impossible mountain to climb. Just not for me.
You ever won that one? Have you ever been in the main event of WrestleMania before? Because I'm pretty sure I done did all of that. So that means I'm the most experienced main event of all time.
For 900 days, Roman Reigns has ruled WWE.
This whole industry, this whole business runs off of me. The tribal chief has done everything that you can do in this business.
You are the best champion in all of sports, but it doesn't change a damn thing. I beat you at WrestleMania.
At WrestleMania, you acknowledge me.
I acknowledge you, damn it. You need to acknowledge me.
You ain't got a chance. I am WrestleMania.
Tonight's main event is brought to you by Intuit TurboTax. Come to TurboTax and don't do your taxes. Let our experts do them for you.
Oh, boy. Everyone's dancing.
What you got to say?
Oh, keep going. You were going.
Oh, damn. Let's get back to business.
Let's get back to business. Oh, talk about getting down to business. That's what those two superstars intend to do in tonight's main event. I don't even know where to start when it comes to these two. Peter, I'm gonna go ahead and go. We've talked about this match multiple times over this past weekend. Where do you think the mentalities stand between the two of these superstars right now?
I mean, I think there's a lot of confidence on both sides. I think it's one of the very rare times where a superstar as dominant as Roman Reigns. I mean, let's be honest, there have barely been any superstars. I mean, who are we talking about? Hulk Hogan, Bruno Sammartino? There have not been that many.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. So the fact that he has been so dominant, Roman, and if he were to win, I still think a lot of people would be surprised because they believe in Cody Rhodes that much.
And I agree with you on that. I think the world is expecting Cody Rhodes to finish his story in a positive way. Here's the problem. Cody Rhodes has so much pressure on his shoulder. This is his first ever main event of WrestleMania. That on its own is enough. But now the world is expecting him to go and beat the guy who hasn't been beaten in, 1,000 plus?
Almost 1,000 days.
Yeah. Like, come on. The pressure on Cody's shoulders is unimaginable right now, and that might come to the fore during this matchup.
Roman has defended his title against John Cena. He's defended his title book against Brock Lesnar. What makes Cody Rhodes different in the eyes of the WWE Universe?
I mean, Cody went on a journey. That journey started when he left the WWE and went out there and paved his own way back to the WWE. And he did that to show the world that he is truly dedicated to this game. And then to come back and put his back against the wall by saying, hey, I'm back for one reason only, and that's to win that double winged eagle championship that my dad should have had. That right there says a lot about his character. To be able to walk in the shoes of Dusty Rhodes is huge, but to go out there and fulfill that dream, that ultimate, no pun intended, that ultimate dream is going to be
now,
unbelievable.
We know last night was not necessarily a positive night for the Bloodline. Do you think the fact that Usos dropped those titles is affecting the mentality of Roman, or is he just like, you know what, that's done, that's over with, now I got to focus on me?
I mean, listen, I'm sure it's on his mind. I'm sure he's not thrilled, but let's be honest. This whole thing started with Roman Reigns' dominance, and he has always been sort of the straw that stirs the drink.
Can we just agree on one thing, guys? That this is the shucky ducky, quack quack moment of the night.
Undeniable.
We got it.
How could it not? How could it not be? It is one of the most anticipated main events of all time. And don't forget, listen, we don't know what mentality the Usos have today. They can't be happy. We don't know how Solo Sikoa is feeling today. And remember, Cody said this a few weeks ago, guys. You have your whole bloodline. My dad's not around. My brother's not going to be here. He's going to be on his own. So he's stepping in. To me, it's a matter of, is it destiny or not for Cody Rhodes?
Not many people have Roman Reigns leave a ring speechless. And that's what happened Roman Reigns a couple of weeks ago when we saw Cody Rhodes stand in his face and have every single answer you can imagine for Roman Reigns. Roman drops the mic and walks away. What is he doing to the tribal chief that other people weren't able to do? And how does that affect today? And I think you're perfectly right to bring up the Usos last night. Like, are we really set to see the bloodline completely and utterly crumble tonight?
Well, Cody has seen everybody try over the past 3 years and everybody fail. So Cody is smart enough to realize he has to do something different. He has to get under the skin of the tribal chief. He's successfully done that, but the second part of the task, either getting Roman Reigns to submit or pin him, both are unthinkable. Cody has to do the unthinkable tonight.
I just can't wait to interview Paul Heyman after this whole weekend is over with. Let's go ahead and get our picks, though. Who you got?
I love Cody Rhodes to death. I want him to end his story as positively as he can, but I am not an American dreamer. I am an English realist. And tonight, Roman Reigns retains the championship.
All right, quickly.
I love Dusty Rhodes, as well as I love that kid, Cody Rhodes. He's a stud, and he's going to go out there, and he's going to take that championship tonight.
Okay.
I'm with this guy. I'm with Booker. Love Cody, but Roman Reigns.
All right, guys. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to the WrestleMania Kickoff Show. Don't forget, Brock Lesnar versus Omos will be kicking off night 2. Don't miss out on any of that action. Thanks, everyone, for watching the WrestleMania Kickoff Show presented by Cricket. It is now time. Are you ready?
Yes, we are.